So for those who join on YouTube, this is an introduction to quantumawakening.com, as well as talking to you about building community in the field. In the quantum field, there's a resonant energy where people are gathering. It is time. It is no longer time to just sit and consistently talk. There is something in your heart that you want to do. And when you imagine it in your head, when it comes into your heart through coherence, you're going to access the field. So I'm going to speak in quantum language. That's me. I am a nerd, science and math person. And I have been lining up so much scripture that goes hand in hand. So I still see from this biblical mystical book, I haven't thrown it out. I totally love it. And it adds way more life to the story. Jesus was a phenomenal mystic pattern son, and how he gathered people and he built his community, and that community changed the world. I believe that there are innovative people rising up today. They've been obscure, they've been kind of hidden. Everyone will have their niche, and we're always going to need leaders, we're always going to need teachers, but these leaders are not going to be a hierarchical system. I once saw this vision that God had given me about these places that will be physically rising up as well as online, and they will be modeled almost after wheels in wheels. At that time, I didn't know that that represented fields. So fields will connect together through a resonant energy, and you will allow to be yourself. Whatever significance that is in your life, you will be yourself, because we cannot grow. I cannot grow if you're not yourself, because as I've said many times, you add to the river of the empowerment of the river, the identity of the river. I can't grow if you're just depending on me for this one shot person standing in front of you. Those days are over. A new paradigm is here. We're not waiting for it. It's here. So let's get started. First of all, I wanted to share with you, it does not matter how old you are. It does not matter where you're from. It does not matter your financial status. There is no inequality in the quantum field. There is total inequality, and everybody has the possibility to connect to the potential of the field through the mind of Christ and through elevated emotions in their heart. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Everyone has a potential. So this is this time of mature responsibility to zone in on what is the passion of the ground of your being. What makes you tick? What makes you you? Because when you find that, you will go after it. And that is what I'm doing by building the quantum school. I want to share with you, we'll share more about that later, but I want to say that everything I've gone through has contributed to me standing in this place and time. Every hurt I've experienced, every joy I've experienced, every failure, every success has brought me to this point. And in the course, I ask the people to think about, every week I give them questions to ponder. And I asked them this week, I want you to think about all those fragments that formed your life and the things that you've neglected, that you don't want to own up to, that there's shame or guilt. You've got to own all those, pull them into the wholeness of who you are, because they make you who you are. I'll give you 3 examples, and this is true. Anyone who knows me, I am loud, I am funny. Why is that? Because my family was loud and funny. Coming from a very loud Polish family, growing up in Chicago, my grandparents came from Poland. We sat around tables and we talked, and everybody was talking at once. Now, I'm not saying that's the best way to converse, but that is the passion and the life that was in our conversations. And a lot of who I am today is because my father believed in empowerment, and he would sit us down. He had 3 girls, and he would sit us down and he would say, I want you to prepare yourself to be brilliant. He wanted us to finish school. He wanted us to critically think. He asked us questions continuously, exposed us to music, exposed us to culture, exposed us to humor. That is who I am today, because I am the message and you are the message. You're not going to get away from everything you are. If you're preaching a message that is not you, you're preaching it from someone else's viewpoint, you're copying, you're mimicking, but it's not you. Because when the authenticity of your message flows through your voice and your spirit and your being, you're going to create something that you are invested in. I am invested in this school because I believe I've waited for this my whole life, and now is the time. And you have to take that first step before the next step comes. So let me then go on to say this. Another thing is, I knew since I was a child that I was going to travel. I started traveling at 17 years old, graduated high school early. I was a bit independent. I loved to travel. I loved the adventure and the change. I knew I was intuitive. I knew that I was creative. I, to this day, will move my furniture around maybe every other month because I'm always looking for new possibilities. I am a creative thinker. I don't change for change's sake. I change because it's inherent in you. So what I want to ask you, and what I ask these people in my course who I love, we're having an incredible time on Thursday nights. I ask them, who are you? Because until you tap into that ground of your being, not what someone else says, and learning these quantum concepts, they bring you into the reality of your own entanglement and your own mature responsibility to create something in this 3D realm that you call your incarnation. So let me think. I don't have a lot of notes. I just kind of want to flow. So those who resonate with this message, and not everybody will, and that is really okay with me, because the people that will come to you via what you create will be drawn by the sound of your voice, the frequency of your energy. That is okay. And that is the way you want it. Because when they resonate with you in the field, they will flow to you and they will be prepared and ready to receive. You don't want to build just to build to have numbers. Those days are over. You want to build from the resonance of energy of connecting with people who are going to respond to you, open up their spirit and their being to receive for you, because you want to kind of step back and lead from a position of kind of showing them the way, but you can't do it. You can present them before the door of open possibility. You can encourage them, you can love them, but you will never be able to take the step. You will not plug people into positions like the corporate world does or the church did. You will flow as a leader in innovation and creativity to be able to see your people in that position and to know what resonates deep in their being. And the purpose is to move them in a position so that they are allowed to see encouraging quantum concepts or life coaching skills or mentoring skills or teaching skills. Whatever is burning within you, you are not the icon that they're following. You are taking a step back and you are leading and positioning and guiding. And that is what I did as a pastor. It is no surprise to me that I am the message. You are the message. You are the creative flow that you will create. Because when I was in ministry for all those years, what I did was lead people, and I was able to see what was in their spirit and help them position themselves to be brilliant and to have success. It didn't matter who got the glory. It didn't matter the accolades. It didn't matter all the followers. It didn't matter. It didn't matter then. And it matters less now, because we're rising in global consciousness. And as leaders rise up, they will be so innovative and so creative, because there are blueprints in the quantum field waiting for all of us to access the creativity in our life to flow accordingly. So it's not a question of when, okay? Those that are going to listen to this, it's not a question of when, it's a question of, it's not even a question, it's now, because you will never go to the second step until you do the first step. So this message is all about the community I'm creating to give you an example of what you are holding inside to create, and kind of like the focus that will be rising up in this time through the quantum field. So let's get started. There are blueprints in the quantum field that are the potentials. Now, there are a lot of potential in the quantum field, but your focus is to focus on the desire of God's heart, the universe's focus for you. So it would be like going into a room and being able to choose from any number of things. But let's say you go into a room and there's jewelry everywhere, and you will take what you love. The first focus is, what do you love? So you're not gravitating toward anything. You're gravitating toward the desires of your heart. So when you hook up to these blueprints in the quantum field, they are in the desires of your heart. They're in the ground of your being. You will start to manifest creativity. And the overwhelming feeling you will have is, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. It doesn't matter how big it is, how small it is. It doesn't matter if you're teaching one person, if you're going to school to become a doctor or a lawyer. It does not matter if you're a photographer, an artist, a sculptor. It doesn't matter if you're raising up a school. What you do is not as important as that it flow from the incredible being of the quantum field. So it will be finely tailored to you, and there will be such a peace and a rest. And that is exactly what I'm feeling now. I know that I am in time for such a time as this. And there is this quiet resolve that has come about over the past several months, where there is no way, there is only this way. And you step out and you go and you walk at one step at a time, and the vision will reveal itself. The first course that was started is a basic course. Now, what am I doing the rest of the time? I'm just flowing as things are revealed to me. 2022, what can I do? How will this expand in a school? Where are the people to help me build this? Those are really not my concerns at this time, although I see them on the horizon. So when you step out and these blueprints flow into your life from the quantum field, they will come innate within them. Inherent within the blueprint is everything you need to be brilliant and to flow within it. As you surrender your need to be famous, your need to be popular, as you surrender your ego, and as you surrender the outcomes, as you surrender your expectations of how this is going to become accomplished, and you stand in that wide open field and you begin to do just what is right before you in the now. And that's exactly what I did with this course. I had no idea where it was going to go. All I knew is that I had to do it. And when you find this blueprint, when you know this blueprint that's beating within your heart, it will also, it'll have a cost to it. You know, it'll cost you financially, perhaps. It'll cost you emotionally, spiritually. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking the old sacrifice thing, like give to get. I'm talking that certain things in your life will go to the wayside, where that will become the overarching narrative of your life. So if I wanted to design a school, then the first thing I needed to do is hire a course creator. That involves finances. Anything that you want to do that has an element of greatness in it will involve some type of investment, first in your life, then in your ability to know it and believe it, and then in your ability to take the first step. This is for mature people that are so tired of the norm that they want to make their imprint, that they want to leave something into this measure of time that they've been brought into. So I took a step and I just did what I thought I was supposed to do. And suddenly, day by day, things are beginning to unfold. And then what is happening, because this is my blueprint, one of many, I think we're multidimensional. There's many things I love to do. This is one thing I'm focused on. There came exceedingly great joy. There came great peace. Things that bothered me, those questions that I had as I lived in the tension of what am I supposed to, who am I, suddenly fell into place. And I knew that from before time began, my life has been orchestrated in a narrative to arrive at places of creativity. And your life is orchestrated in a narrative to arrive at places of creativity where imagination is no longer enough. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to embody this incarnation in some way. And those are the people I want to mentor and look for. I want those with innovative, creative ideas that I can do the best that I can do. So there's more. Are you with me so far? So by now we maybe have lost those who don't want to do this. And you know what? That is really okay. Maybe it's not the timing, but I do believe that there are intelligent, brilliant people that are somewhat dissatisfied and want more, and everything you need is within you. So this blueprint in the field, blueprint means design plan. It means design plan, and my design plan, you will find yours. I'll give you my example. Mine is to fuse science and spirituality. I've been prepared for this. You will be prepared for what you're going to see in your blueprint. You might be scared of it. You might not even believe you can do it. You might not even feel free enough to do it. You might not even know that it's been there all along. But inside of you, in this beautiful consciousness in the quantum field, is the energy necessary in your true design. Because before God knew you or formed you, he knew you. And you were in him since before time. And because of that, there is not a script in you. There is a creative flow in many different facets. No two of us are alike. So the rise of creativity in the coming days are going to highlight the beauty of our incarnation, because you're not looking to get out of here. I'm not ready to go yet. I want to do something that's going to bring me incredible joy here. I'm not ready to get out of here. I'm also not ready to be so introspective every day that I have to pull myself down into who am I and why do I do these things? Some things you just gotta let go. Just let them go and live. So in this blueprint, how do you access it? Bonnie's gonna help me teach some of the classes. She's a good friend of mine. I'll tell you how that came about. She's a heart math instructor, has been a university professor, and she has this innate intuitive ability to teach people about their heart. So when I show people the door of quantum concepts, she is able to bring them in and say, now, how do you implement these concepts on a daily basis? So we are working as a team with other people that are going to come in the future and resonate with us. So when I started to think about this vision and think about that, I just wanted to do something, and I wanted to start a business. This is my business. It's not a ministry. It's not a nonprofit. It is a business to give people an excellent product, which is the school, to help them grow, to transform, to create within themselves. So how I received this, what I knew was in me, was through heart-brain coherence. And we'll teach about that in the coming days. It's very simple. The little I know about it, I'll share with you. Your mind is able to conceive images. We have the mind of Christ. We're able to tap into the quantum field through images, ideas, design ideas. We're able to see. But many people just stop there. They like to pontificate about their spirituality, but they never move that. They like the applause, they like the likes, they put out all these incredibly spiritual things, but they're not living, and they're not taking risks, and they're not being creative. Because in order for me to advance what I saw in the field, I had to engage my heart. You will go nowhere in these days unless you engage your mind and your heart, because in the mind is the belief and the seeing, but in the heart is the knowing. When I began to be shown what I wanted to do, the elevated emotions of joy and gladness and gratitude just flowed through me, that I was in the future. And I said, this is me. And that joy exploded in my life. I was brought back into the present from what I saw in the quantum realm. And it was like God within me was saying, what are you going to do about it now? You see it, you know it, you feel it, you sense it. What are you going to do about it? And that's where many people back away. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking to the courageous ones. I'm speaking to the humble ones. I'm speaking to the brilliant ones who know that they're in time for such a time as this. So I'm an architect now of what I'm building. I'm starting with the foundational level and I'm building up, but I'm an architect of my divine plan. I am co-creating with God. It is not a script I'm following. I am co-creating, trying things out, moving to the right, moving to the left, trying different things. And if you ask the people that are in this first course with me, every time the session ends, I learn so many things on how to fine tune what is coming in the next sessions. So you are an architect of the divine blueprint. Nobody knows your blueprint better than you. Nobody knows what beats hard in your heart. And when you begin to step out, the resonance of the expansion of your energy signature, which can go out 7-8 feet from your body in the purity of love and gratitude, when that flows from you, you will resonate with others that are drawn just to you. How good does it feel? No, not the number. How wonderful does it feel that people are connecting with you for you? You don't have to be anybody else. I know this is not for everybody. I know the language that I use, people, they sometimes don't understand it. I have to explain it a little, but I can't be anyone other than me. I can't be anyone other than me, and you cannot be anyone other than you. So this blueprint of science and spirituality that I'm forming, it's not formed in separate from you. You are the fusion of science and spirituality. Now I'm getting specific for what I'm creating. When science flows with spirituality, the place that it flows, the place that it integrates is not outside of you, it's within you. And suddenly, as you begin to learn, as you begin to step out, as you begin to grow, these concepts that quantum has fuse within the spirituality of your life, and suddenly you are expanding in every dimension. Suddenly you are looking at the universe, seeing this magnificent divine mind that has created all of this, and you are looking at your place not as insignificant, but entangled within God's creativity, within his brilliance, within God's outrageous manifestations. You are right there in it. And so this is why I'm teaching this, because it's my bent. To me, I've been studying quantum like Mo has. I've been studying quantum for 7 years. I am still blown away about the concepts that I'm finding. For many years, I did not speak of it because it took me a while. And in this that I'm teaching, you don't get it by taking notes sometimes. You have to hear it over and over and over. It's like water that passes over your heart till suddenly those synchronicities and those aha moments rise up and you go, I get it. Because this is not a topic. The topics that are coming, the ideas that are coming, the creative bents that are going to be released are going to help people find that aha moment. And you will feel so incredible as an innovative leader that when that person discovers it for themselves, then they set out on their journey. You help them mature to the point where they need you to maybe help mentor them, walk alongside them, but they are on a journey of personal responsibility to learn for themselves. It is no more sitting and just passively ingesting bullshit. It is a time of creativity and creative bent. Now, you're going to like this because this is what I believe I was shown. Having been and still am a student of the word, I want to share with you something about the Tabernacle of David. So hold on. Those of you who've totally dismissed the Bible as totally irrelevant, which I have not done. It is an incredible mystical book. I'm going to show you something that I saw because I was a student. I loved teaching on the tabernacle and teaching on the tabernacle of Moses. And do you realize that at the time of the rising of the tabernacle of David, the tabernacle of Moses was still standing? There were two paradigms existing at the same time, just like today. But the thing is that the old paradigm will not become obsolete because there will be people that will be unwilling to change, and you will never be able to change them. You will never be able to change their mind because they are going to stay in an old paradigm because that is what they're comfortable. Those are not the people that are going to resonate with your sound. But here David comes along and he establishes a tabernacle that shows the beauty of our freedom. No walls, total freedom. He removed all the stipulations and all the observations of the ark, set it right down in the middle of the people, and basically said, you can do this yourself. You don't need an intermediary. You don't need any laws or religion. You don't need a church. You don't need a pastor. You don't need them. Now, it's different if these are innovative leaders creating a new paradigm. So I'm not discounting church or spiritual leaders. I'm just saying that there will be a real heavy duty split that will be a chasm in the coming days. And you want to be on the right side of it because that is where you're going to grow. Now, in this tabernacle of David, it was innovative. It was without walls. It was multidimensional realities joining people in resonance. If you look at David, this is a quantum man, folks. This is a quantum person that was able to access the field and see things and speak from the coherence of his mind and his heart. So I saw this tabernacle of David and I thought, that's kind of like this new paradigm shift. If I'm speaking to Christians, then I'm going to relate to you and say this tabernacle of David, this place of heart-based worship, not in a song, not in looking outside of yourself, but the awe and wonder of an incarnate life that is full of life and creativity for such a time as this. So when I visually began to see, when this thought started coming to me months ago, I visually began to see that these groupings were going to be wheels within wheels, like energy fields that were going to come together. There would be no competition, no jealousy, no envy, because you don't want what anyone else has. You want to move in the freedom of your energy resonance, and the ego is going to be surrendered to the flow of creativity. Now, I'm not saying it won't have problems, because you're always going to interject people that are there for the wrong reasons or don't see things or going to want to fight and argue. I move on. I don't engage. I'm not going to engage. I know what I'm doing right now. So when I see people constantly trying to defend Christianity, I'm like, you're kind of missing the point. If you're leaving something, don't go back and try to defend it to people who aren't listening anyway. Move out. You can't create something from the same consciousness of what came before it. It is a new consciousness. It is a new move into the creativity of God. So now just a few more things. I'm not going to make this really long. Here's all my I ams. And I want you to think very carefully about what yours are. In the coming days, there will be an amalgamation. Bonnie and I have talked about this. An amalgamation means two or more fusing or blending as one, where the power of two or more in the one is greater than the one independently of himself. It is teams, folk. And all my life, I've moved in teams. All my life, I've led teams, because it takes the character of someone surrendering position, surrendering reputation, surrendering being seen in order to position people properly. So in this that we're moving into, it will be an amalgamation, because I can't do this school unless the teachers that are going to come to it are in sync with me. And I'll get to that in a minute, because this I hope you're gleaning what I'm building is the points that I'm making are how you will also build whatever it is in your heart. There's basic principles here. So my process, when I got the image, I connected with my heart, my knowing, and then I went ahead and it catapulted me into the doing part, and I had to take a step. So now let me share with you what I'm doing. And this is where I feel that I don't have to sell anything. I really don't. And that is so freeing. I'm going to build a quantum community on a technological platform called Thinkific. Now, I have learned all the technology on this platform, so don't tell me you're too old to do things. That's not true. I have hired a superb course creator that I'm working with every month to enhance how to create this school when other people beside me. So what I'm basically doing is creating the platform to help other teachers come along that don't want to create a technology platform, but because the platform is already set. So what people don't realize is when they sign up for these courses or seminars, or even the free things we're going to offer, you are going into like a university school setting, and you're entering a classroom. And in that classroom, when people enter it, there are PDFs that have been written, there are visuals, there are suggested videos, there are suggested articles, which are all on the side. It's called your student dashboard. And you have the freedom to take what you want, ingest what you want, and leave the rest. In addition to that, we're having these live Zooms that we meet on Thursday, and we go through the notes and we talk about things. But here's what I decided, and this is what I learned. In the Zooms, there is a certain level of intimacy and privacy that's being created in this first course, where people are speaking and asking these incredible questions, and I decided I was not going to record those. So when that Zoom is over on Thursday, I go and I record 2 or 3 sessions straight from my notes, and I post it for people that want to see on the replays. This is step 1. Now, where's it going from here? I can share with you few things, because your vision will start as a seed and then it's going to grow, and you don't have to make it grow. You don't have to force it. Everything in the wave is already in the ocean. When the manifestation of the wave comes up, according to David Bohm, the fantastic quantum physicist, the essence of the wave is already in the ocean. When you manifest and then you go, you don't ever lose your essence. The innate nature of the oak tree starts in the seed. So you don't have to hustle worrying about how you're going to do this. Those are the old days. You are going to be led in steps to take, and because of the synchronicities of God, you will begin to network with people, which I am. It is all moving in the way God wants it to move. The finances will come in. You will know that you are standing on a firm foundation. I think the one thing that has really helped me was that I know that I am resolute. I am adamant. I'm not budging. This is the way I'm going, and I'm just going to keep focused and create. So what do we have planned for the rest of 2022? I want to share with you a little bit about Bonnie as the first person that's going to join with me, and she's going to teach on the quantum heart. Let me explain how that happened, because I believe these are how connections are made. Over a year ago, Bonnie was listening to one of my Facebook Lives, and she wrote me and she said, I am so with you. Can we talk? So for 1.5 years now, we've been talking weekly on Zoom. We've had moments where we've had to learn to understand each other. We have had to see where we don't always agree on things. We have learned to blend our personalities because, honey, we are different. We are so different. And so we have learned to come together in this amalgamation to where after a year and like 4 months now, we tried this last year. We were not ready because we were not ready. The topic was ready, but it takes more than the topic. You, my friends, are invested in whatever you're going to create. You can't take Deborah out of the equation of these courses, because these courses are taught intuitively through example, through authenticity, as well as through knowledge. And you can't take Bonnie out of what she's going to teach, because this is in her heart. So whoever God joins you with in this amalgamation is going to resonate within the same beat of your heart, and that is to release themselves to the flow of what's being revealed to them in the field. So then Bonnie and I decide, after 1 year and 4 months of talking, it was time. So I told her this was the beginning, the two of us. So we got together and we set a plan in place. This is teamwork, people, because I know what's in Bonnie, and because of a relationship based on resonance through all the ups and downs. And I know when she watches this, she's going to laugh, because I'm not going to tell you all the ups and downs we had. And they were all for good. They were all for you. They're all for good. You love Trump's resonance, people. When you know when you're resonating with someone and you hit that fork in the road where you may not disagree, or you may disagree, you're going to keep going, because there is something greater in the melding of both of you that is going to produce a product, a dream, a vision that is greater when you humble yourself and you just kind of lay low in order to learn something about yourself in the process. So here's what we're going to do in 2022. This course, A Curious Quantum Awakening, is a basic quantum course. It's a great place to start. It has basic quantum concepts where people kept writing me and saying, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do, because I can give you all the books in the world. That doesn't mean you're going to understand it. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to pull it all together in a cohesive way to walk. So it's 5 weeks. Bonnie teaches the last week on what's called the quantum heart. So she's going to take everything I taught and she's going to tie it together about how the heart plays an important part in the way we're moving. Now, we want to do this 3 times a year, because I want to keep opening this, and I'm going to do it unashamedly with a quiet resolve. I'm putting it out there for those who will resonate, to want to take it, to have a great start. But in between those times, we want to offer one-day courses on light, on sound, on the quantum heart, on the Aramaic sayings of Jesus, on the gospel of Mary Magdalene. We're going to teach about the Christ self, the Christ field. We're going to teach about fields. It's endless what we're going to do. In addition to that, we're going to, in addition to the 3 times of the repetition of the quantum awakening, and then the one-day courses, we're going to, closer to August, have a course that's going to combine quantum concepts with a quantum heart. And we're going to write that course now. Now, this is the beginning. Where's it going? This is what I foresee. How this is going to happen, I don't know, but it's going to happen. I'm going to resonate with people that want to flow in this realm, have relationship, be going in the same direction, and want to be able to reach and impact people. And they'll somehow will add these teachers. It will turn into a school at some point. And that is why I hired a course creator, because she is a human resource, social media, incredible person who handles people that are much more well-known than me, but she believes in me and she believes in the ideas that I have. So this is where I am. All of this I've said right now, this is you. This is each one of you, if you're still with me. This is you creating a life that is not only said to be abundant, but that is abundant, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually, they will create an abundant life. It will create you to make a living for yourself. You don't negate anything. When we're moving in this realm, there are all these possibilities. So I am happier than ever, filled with more joy than ever, and opening up creative doors to help people. So I probably won't talk about this for another couple weeks as we develop this plan. But for right now, I'll still be bringing forth quantum concepts on Facebook Lives, but the depth of what I'm doing is going to be starting to be resonant in these classes. So when you see the next course comes up, I invite you to take it. I know you will not be disappointed. I know you will like it. So this message was for me. And it was for me to state clearly that I believe in myself. I trust my intuition. I am invested my whole self in this, no matter what the production is. And I truly mean that. If this goes along with 5 people for so long, that is okay with me, because the desires of my heart are being manifest. Those things we talked about in those meetings and those religious meetings, but nobody ever achieved. So very few people are walking in the reality of who they really are in this earth realm, because you are in this realm, in this time, for such a time as that. So let me know. I'll read the comments later. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It is a good day. It is a new day. It is a brave new world out there. If you don't see it, open your eyes. It's right there. It's not arriving. It's here right now as we're rising in this global. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Donna. Let me see who else is listening. Thank you, Pris. Pris, I love your posts. They're really cool. Thank you, Marianne. Going through a lot of stuff, Marianne. Mo, thank you, Maura, John, Annabelle. Thank you, John, Kristen. Be blessed. I love you guys. You can do this. This is not just for me. I'm the message, putting myself out there to show you that anything is possible, no matter what you've gone through in life. And it's been a hell of a roller coaster ride for me for 3 years. But the horizon looks bright and everything looks really good right now. And I want the same for you. Bless you guys. We'll talk again soon.